part 7, how to play the bass clarinet. I'm going to switch over here and we're going to look at fingering charts. So you're page 46 and 47 in your book. So turn there and I'll show you some stuff on that page. In one of the previous videos we showed you where your fingers go on the bass clarinet, and that applies to this image here. Right, here's the back of the bass clarinet, and so it's showing you that left thumb hole and then the left register key for your left hand. Okay? And then your right thumb rest down there. So that's showing you the back of the bass clarinet. And then it has these arrows showing to this little diagram here. This is going to become really important. And it's showing you this one here is demonstrating that left thumb hole, and this is that register key. Okay? And then your left hand fingers on the top of the bass clarinet. Now you notice this is what the bass clarinet looks like if you look at it straight from the front of the bass clarinet. So, like this. So here's the front of the bass clarinet, and it's just like that. So when you look at the fingering chart, you remember that it's demonstrating it as if you're looking at the front of the bass clarinet. Then you have your right. Then after the left hand buttons that are demonstrated here, but they show you on the diagram, you have this little line, and that's to let you know that now we're talking about the right hand fingers, and they go along with the right hand buttons, the right finger buttons down here. Okay, so here's kind of what the fingering chart will look like when you get into the book. You'll have the note, and it'll tell you the name of the note, which you need to remember. In this case, it's an E. It'll tell you where it's at on the staff. In this case, it's on the bottom line, so that bottom line will always be an E. And then it'll tell you how to play it here, and so you'll see there's a dark filled in hole and the ones that are not filled in. So the ones that are dark are the ones that you'll push down. So you'll push your first finger of your left hand and your thumb of your left hand, but not the register key, okay, because it's not filled in. So that's kind of how you know how to play that note. The next note here, the F, it's on the first space. It's named F, and you only use your thumb. And then the next note we'll learn is actually this G here, not this one. And the G is you don't push any buttons. It's all open. And we'll demonstrate how to do that shortly. Okay, so we're on page 6 in the book, and you'll notice at the top of the page you have that yellow box, and it shows you those 3 notes we just talked about. And so if you ever forget as we're working throughout this page 6, or on page 7 as well, just look right up there. Make sure you don't write in the names of the notes over every one of your notes. You want to make sure you're remembering. So I'm remembering 3 things for each note. The name of the note, where it's at on the staff, and what buttons to push. Okay, if you remember that, you'll be good to go. And remember, there's only 3 for the whole 2 pages, whole first 2 pages. Okay? So the next thing I'd ask you to do is as we play these notes, make sure you're looking at the note as we play it. Okay? Don't look around the room. Look at the note or the rest. The next thing is on the top of page 6, there's a blue box and talks about a whole note and a whole rest. Make sure you read through that whole thing and understand it. Basically, in a nutshell, it's talking about a whole note gets 4 counts in 4/4 time. And those counts or beats, consider like a tempo. I'm just tapping my knee here. And if I were to play that, it would go like this. That's how long you'd play it. So essentially, 1, 2, 3, 4, then stop at the beginning of the next beat. Okay? So that gives you 4 full beats. So you have to count that in your head as you play those notes. Okay, you have to think in your head 1, 2, 3, 4 on each of those beats. So for that first note in E, you have your thumb and your first finger here with your left hand. Okay? And you're going to play like this. It's going to sound like this. Okay, and you're going to think that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the tempo that is counted off, or the tempo that you're going. Okay, and make sure, remember we talked about that sound. Make sure you're starting your note with that, and you're ending by just stop blowing air. Let's just play that first note, the E, for a whole note. 1, 2, breathe to the sides of your mouth. Ready? Hopefully you were counting in your head and you got about right where I did when I stopped. Okay? Let's play exercise number 1 in the book. There's a whole note, then a whole rest. So you're going to count, I'll count out loud. I'll count through some of these. And then there's another whole note, and there's 4 whole notes, 4 whole rests, interspaced. So let's try it. 1, 2, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the end because there's a double bar in the music. Okay? So hopefully as you're playing those, you're looking at each of the note and the rest and the note and the rest as you play it. Okay? And I'll do that in the next ones as we go. So the next exercise covers that second note we talked about, the F. And it only has 3 whole notes and 3 whole rests. So make sure you're counting and you're looking at the notes as you play them. My stand's right here, so you can see the stand there. And so I'll look at it this time. Here we go. Here's the F. Remember how to play that one. Just the thumb on the back. Okay, just the thumb. Not the words. One thing I didn't mention is even though I'm only using the thumb, make sure your fingers aren't just sitting like this. You still keep your fingers just loosely covering those other holes without pushing down. Right? Pushing down. Now not, but just covering. Because eventually we'll have to play lots of fast notes. And if you're doing like this, you're going to miss those buttons. So you just let them cover. Don't let your fingers fly away. Okay? Here's number 2 on page 6. 1, 2, here we go. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. Rest, 2, 3, 4. And that's the end. Okay? The next one, number 3, has 2 different notes on it. So there's a whole note, whole rest, whole notes, but they change. So what you want to do is, before you play any of the notes, you push your fingers down for where it needs to go. In this case, it starts with the E, so your thumb and your first finger, and you're going to push those down and hold it down while you get ready and get set and breathe and then play. Okay? Don't try and push it the second you play, or else it won't work very good. And then in the rest, we're going to switch our fingers so we're ready for the next note. Let's try number 3. 1, 2, starts with the E, go. Rest, 2, switch your finger, go. 1, 2, it's an F again, and go. 1, 2, switch back to E, go. Okay? If you're finding that you're running out of air too soon, then just take more air before you start. Okay? Just take a bigger breath. I'm sure you have plenty of room as long as you remember to breathe. Number 4 is another new note. It's your G, which in this case we don't push any buttons. So you still want to leave your fingers hovering over here and these fingers hovering over here, but you just hold it mostly with your thumb and your mouth, and then you just play that G. So let's play number 4, and it's called Watch Those Rests because they put this in a different order. Instead of doing note, rest, note, rest, note, rest, they have note, rest, note, rest, note, rest, rest, then a note. So you got to be following your music or else you're going to get lost. Here we go. 1, 2, number 4, and play. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, don't forget to breathe. 1, 2, 3. Another rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so that's number 4. Number 5 uses all 3 of the notes, but this does put it in note, rest, and so forth. So it makes it a little easier. So let's do all 5 notes in number 5. Sorry, all 3 notes in number 5. Here we go. 1, 2, starts with the E. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? And then on number 6, we have something new. We have 2 notes right in a row with no rest in between. So we talked about, you already know how to do this because we did that thing. So as we start, you're going to go. And you're going to redo that sound to make a new note. But you're not going to pause. You're not going to stop. You're not going to blow in between the notes. You're just going to remake that sound again. Okay. So we're going to start, and we're just going to go, like, for example, I'll just do the first 2 measures. You're going to start on that G. Did you hear where I went in between again? So it's made a new note, but I didn't stop blowing air. I never stopped blowing air. Okay, only when the note is over and I have a rest. You can stop blowing air at that point, but not during those 2 notes. So let's try number 6. Try and go in the right spots and make sure that you make those 2 separate notes. Ready? You got to take a lot of air because it's 8 total counts you're going to be playing here. 1, 2, lots of air, breathe. 1, 2, the F, and go. 1, 2, the E, and go. Cool. So practice everything on that page. Make sure you understand how that all works. If there's anything up to this point you're not sure of, make sure you're letting me know either in class if you're one of my students, or you can comment on any of the videos, or you can send me an email if you're my student and let me know. That's the best way to learn, is to ask questions, and I'm happy to help you out with that. So we'll move on to the next video. Again, review anything you need to review. That's one of the reasons why I'm putting these all on video, so you can just review it as many times as you need and practice it. Okay, so we'll see you on the next one.